fighter pilot's worst nightmare. You're locked in a dogfight at 30,000 feet. Your radar screams warnings. Your opponent just pulled a maneuver that shouldn't be possible. And in that split second, you realize you brought a knife to a gunfight. The question every nation asks, which fighter jet would you trust with your life? Because when missiles are flying and seconds matter, only one thing counts: raw, unstoppable power. Today we're ranking the 5 most powerful fighter jets dominating the skies in 2026. Not the prettiest, not the most expensive, the most powerful. The ones that make enemy pilots turn around and go home. If you believe air superiority wins wars, smash that like button and let's get into it. Number 5, the Dassault Rafale, France's silent assassin. France doesn't do anything halfway. When they built the Rafale, they had one goal: total independence. No American parts, no foreign strings, pure French engineering. And it shows. The Rafale is a 4.5 generation multi-role fighter that does everything. Air superiority? Check. Ground attack? Absolutely. Carrier operations? The French Navy swears by it. Nuclear strike capability? You better believe it. Here's what makes it powerful. This jet carries the Scalp cruise missile with a 300-mile range. Fire and forget from outside enemy airspace. The target never sees it coming. Add the Meteor air-to-air missile, the same one on the Typhoon, and you've got a killing machine that dominates from any distance. February 2024 brought a massive upgrade. The Rafale F4 Standard introduced an upgraded RBE, 2 AESA radar with longer detection range and better electronic warfare capabilities. Translation? It sees enemies before they see it, jams their systems while staying invisible. Croatia just ordered 12 in the late 2024. Indonesia signed for 42. Serbia's negotiating for 12 more. When nations spend billions, they're not buying yesterday's technology. The Rafale proved itself in combat. Libya, Mali, Syria, Iraq. This fighter flew thousands of sorties with 0 losses. French pilots call it omni-role because it genuinely does everything in a single mission. Strike ground targets, defend itself against enemy fighters, conduct reconnaissance, all without returning to base. Power isn't just thrust and speed, it's versatility. The Rafale can operate from a 1,300-foot aircraft carrier deck or a bombed-out runway in the desert. That's power. But France isn't the only nation building fighters that make others nervous. One country turned air combat into a science. Number 4 is their masterpiece. Number 4, the F-15EX Eagle II, the American sledgehammer. Boeing looked at the 50-year-old F-15 Eagle and asked a simple question. What if we made it even more lethal? The answer is the F-15EX Eagle II, and it's an absolute monster. This isn't your grandfather's Eagle. This is the Eagle on steroids, the most powerful iteration of America's most successful air superiority fighter ever built. The numbers are staggering. Maximum weapons payload, 29,500 pounds. That's more than the F-35 and F-22 combined, 12 air-to-air missiles or a mix of bombs and missiles that would require 3 F-35s to carry. One F-15EX replaces multiple fighters. The new engines, F110GE129 turbofans, produce 29,000 pounds of thrust each. That's 58,000 pounds combined, pushing a jet that accelerates like a rocket and climbs like it's defying physics. But here's the real power move. The F-15EX carries hypersonic weapons. The AGM-183 AARRW, air-launched rapid response weapon, flies at Mach 20. Yes, 20 times the speed of sound. From a launch to impact, the enemy has maybe 60 seconds. No defense system stops that. The Air Force ordered 104 F-15EX fighters with deliveries running through 2031. Why? Because while stealth is great, sometimes you need a truck. A weapons truck that carries everything, flies fast, and turns enemy formations into scrap metal. Advanced radar, electronic warfare suite, and a fly-by-wire system that makes it more maneuverable than the original Eagle. Pilots say it handles like a fighter half its size. The Eagle has a combat record that speaks for itself. 104 kills, 0 losses. The EX continues that legacy with 21st century technology wrapped around a proven airframe. This is American air power philosophy in metal form. Overwhelming firepower, unmatched capability. Build it so powerful that enemies surrender before engaging. But raw power without stealth only gets you so far. Number 3 combines both into something terrifying. Number 3, the Su-35 Flanker E, Russia's super maneuverability beast. Western analysts love dismissing Russian fighters. Then they watch the Su-35 fly, and their jaws hit the floor. The Su-35 is a 4++ generation air superiority fighter that does things physics shouldn't allow. Those thrust vectoring nozzles move in all directions, redirecting 63,000 pounds of thrust wherever the pilot wants. The result? Maneuvers called the Cobra, the flat spin, the Colbit. The Su-35 can decelerate from 400 miles per hour to near 0 in seconds, let an enemy overshoot, then snap onto their tail. In close combat, this fighter is a nightmare. China bought 24 in 2015. They wanted to reverse engineer it. Russia knew it and sold anyway because the Su-35 represents something they do better than anyone: extreme agility. The Urbisi passive electronically scanned array radar detects targets at 250 miles and tracks 30 targets simultaneously while engaging 8. For a non-stealth fighter, that's extraordinary situational awareness. Weapons loadout: 17,600 pounds across 12 hard points. The R-77M air-to-air missile with 120-mile range. The KH-31 anti-ship missile. The Su-35 carries the firepower of a bomber with the agility of an acrobatic jet. Russia deployed Su-35s to Syria in 2015. They flew combat air patrols, dominated the airspace, and sent a message: we're back. Here's the uncomfortable truth. In a close-range dogfight, the Su-35 might beat anything America fields except the F-22. Might. Western pilots admit this privately. Those thrust-vectoring nozzles give advantages that helmet-mounted displays and high-off-bore sight missiles only partially counter. Russia built approximately 140 Su-35s, with production continuing. Egypt, China, and Iran showed interest. When adversaries buy your fighter, you built something powerful. The weakness? It's not stealthy. Enemy radars see it from 100 miles away. Modern warfare is about shooting first from beyond visual range. The Su-35 might never get close enough to use its super maneuverability. But power isn't always about stealth. Sometimes it's about pure, violent capability. Speaking of stealth, number 2 is where things get serious. Number 2, the F-22 Raptor, the untouchable king. Only 187 built. Production ended in 2011, yet this remains the most powerful air superiority fighter on Earth. Let that sink in, a 16-year-old design that nothing can match. The F-22 Raptor is what happens when America says spare no expense. Stealth, speed, super maneuverability, sensors, weapons, perfection in every category. Stealth first. The F-22's radar cross-section equals a marble. Enemy radars see nothing until the Raptor launches missiles. By then, game over. 2 Pratt & Whitney F119 engines produce 70,000 pounds of thrust combined with thrust vectoring. The Raptor supercruises at Mach 1.8 without afterburners, kicks to Mach 2.25 when needed, climbs vertically like a rocket. Super maneuverability rivals the Su-35. The difference? The Raptor does it while invisible. Thrust vectoring nozzles allow post-stall maneuvers. The jet points its nose at targets while flying different directions, physics-defying capability. AN/APG-77AES. A radar detects enemy fighters at 125+ miles while remaining undetectable itself. Low probability of intercept means the Raptor sees you. You don't see it. 6 AIM-120 AMR-AAM missiles internally, 2 AIM-9 Sidewinders, launch, kill, disappear, all without ever appearing on radar. Combat record, never defeated in air-to-air combat, not once, not by anyone. The F-22 has an estimated kill ratio exceeding 30-1 in simulated combat. 30 enemy fighters destroyed for every Raptor lost, and none have been lost. Syria 2018, F-22s enforced no-fly zones while Russian Su-35s operated nearby. The Russians stayed clear. They knew better. October 2024 brought remarkable news. F-22s integrated with AI-controlled drones during exercises. One pilot commanding manned and unmanned aircraft simultaneously. The future arrived. Each Raptor costs over $350 million with development. Expensive? Absolutely. Worth it? Ask the nations that can't build anything close. The F-22 represents America's aerospace dominance. China tried copying it with the J-20, Russia with the Su-57. Neither succeeded. There's powerful, then there's untouchable. The F-22 is untouchable. But one fighter does something the Raptor can't. One jet combines power, stealth, and numbers into global dominance. Number one isn't just powerful, it's everywhere. Number 1, the F-35 Lightning II, the networked assassin, over 1,000 built. Operating with 15 nations, more produced than all other fifth-generation fighters combined. The F-35 isn't just a fighter, it's a revolution. 3 versions: F-35 a conventional takeoff, F-35B vertical landing for Marines, F-35 sea carrier operations for the Navy. Same stealth, same sensors, different missions. One platform, global reach. Here's what makes it the most powerful. The F-35 doesn't just fight, it thinks. Sensors fuse data from 6 infrared cameras, AESA radar, electronic warfare systems, and data links. The pilot sees 360 degrees through the aircraft. Threats identified, prioritized, shared automatically with every friendly asset. One F-35 sees an enemy fighter. Every F-35, every ship, every ground unit knows instantly. Launch a weapon, everyone knows. The battlefield becomes transparent. The AN/APG-81 AESA radar tracks hundreds of targets while jamming enemy systems. Pilots describe it as God mode. You see everything. They see nothing. Weapons, AIM-120, AMR, AAMS, AIM-9X Sidewinders, GBU-53. Stormbreaker bombs, AGM-158, JASSM cruise missiles. Strike moving targets and snowstorms from 50 miles away without being detected. August 2024 history. F-35, A cleared to carry B-6112 nuclear gravity bombs. Stealth nuclear strike capability. That's strategic power. Combat proven. April 2024, Navy F-35Cs shot down multiple Houthi drones over the Red Sea. September 2024, Israeli F-35 is struck Iranian nuclear facilities. The jet performs flawlessly under fire. Each F-35A costs $80 million, with operating costs dropping to $35,000 per flight hour. Cheaper than legacy fighters with 10 times the capability. The real power? Numbers and networking. 1,000 F-35 sharing data creates an unkillable sensor network spanning the globe. You can't hide from it, you can't jam it, you can't fight it. Lockheed Martin delivered 190 aircraft in 2024. Production accelerating. By 2030, over 2,000 F-35s will dominate the skies. This is power. Not just destroying enemies, but controlling the entire battle space. The F-35 is the quarterback, the linebacker, and the coach. It runs the game. Conclusion of 5 fighters, 5 philosophies, 1 truth. Power isn't just thrust and speed, it's capability, versatility, combat record, and the fear you put into enemies before the fight even starts. The Rafale proves independence works. The F-15EX shows weapons matter. The Su-35 demonstrates agility still counts. The F-22 remains the untouchable king. And the F-35 networked power is the future. But only one nation fields both the F-22 and F-35 in numbers that make adversaries think twice. America doesn't just compete, we dominate. Hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment telling us which fighter impressed you most. And remember, The sky isn't the limit, it's our domain. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next episode.